What do you think of spring practice so far? What's been the focus for offense?
Well, I think we've got some new players on offense, and what we're trying to do is indoctrinate them into the system, let them get to know what they're doing, and develop them as players. We've got a lot of guys in the offensive line that haven't played. We've got quarterbacks that haven't played much or haven't played at all. One of which is hasn't gone to really, in reality, would not have gone to his high school prom yet,
right?
Senior prom. So anyway, we just got to develop each one of those guys and help them to understand the system and to learn what we're doing.
With so many pieces yet to come, yet to be decided, how do you approach it? Do you just break them down one by one, quarterback here, offensive line here, or do you attack a single spot first? Or
no, we're just doing it, kind of the whole thing at once. And one of the things we're doing, we're also, as far as what we introduce, what plays we introduce, we're trying to go at the pace of what we can do at quarterback and the offensive line, because we want to develop the ability to know what to do and to do it right before we try to, confuse them and do a bunch of different things. Before
we get back to the quarterback offensive line, are there spots that you feel pretty confident in?
Well, I think our running back position is improving as we go. As we all know, that's a day-to-day, week-to-week thing, But that's what I would say right now. Eventually, I feel good about our receiver position, but we're thin there right now because we're a little beat up. We'll see tomorrow in our scrimmage.
So it looks like running backs, wide receivers, you mentioned. Tight end looks like you've got 3, 4, 5 guys who can. Yeah,
I wish we had 5. We really have. The two starters are Stephon Ball and Josh Chichester, and we're playing Josh more at what we call the Y position, the position Cameron Graham played last year.
Gotcha.
And I think he'll be able to do more things in the future. We'll do some more things with him, but right now we're just focusing on him doing that, and there's a lot of good things to see there. I think that's the best position for him.
Back to quarterback, no decision expected during the spring.
No,
and it's just kind of a process of feeling those guys out over the next 6 months or so, 5 months or so.
I would say they're going to compete and keep learning and growing here in spring practice, and then through the summer, and then training camp, and we'll see where we are.
How nice is it to have a guy like Will Stein? I realize the height thing and all that kind of thing, but this kid's a competitor, a gamer. He's had experience already. It'd be one thing if you just got a walk-on who's never played before, but he's been in games. Yeah,
I think that's a real positive, and he's a guy that he's a football player. He's a smart guy. He's into ball, and that's the kind of guy you want at quarterback. He's confident. He's a competitor. He's got all those things that you want, and the fact that he's played is a real plus.
And then Teddy, what has he shown you so far this spring?
Well, Teddy has a lot of poise. I think that's the one thing for a young guy. He has a lot of poise, and the fact that he is very intent on doing things right. He doesn't settle for doing things wrong or doing things halfway. He wants to do things right, and that's something, those are marks of that he has a very, very bright future.
And then offensive line, looks like you've got several guys on crutches and Mario's out, and how do you evaluate those guys with so many guys injured?
Well, what we got to do is play with the guys we got, and Alex Cupper's playing just about every position in the offensive line right now. And that's just something we've got to do. We've got to develop the guys that we've got.
Hey, what do you think of Cupper? I mean, this is a kid who people locally knew who he was and knew that him coming to the program would be a big thing. But I mean, he could start this year, right?
Oh, without a question. He's a guy that's really developed as a player, and he, we believe he's one of our best offensive linemen, and he's really the leader of our offensive line group now.
Now, with Jeremy Wright out, how important is this spring for Vic Anderson?
Very important. It's important for him. It's important for Sonoris Perry. It's important for all those running backs. But it's an important spring for Vic Anderson.
Was there at any point where you didn't think Kamal would come back? I mean, was it that serious?
It was a concern. From what we were told, it was one of the worst concussions that they've ever seen, and it wasn't just the concussion that happened here. There was he had an automobile accident in the summer that we didn't know about, And then after he got the concussion, they started asking questions and found out, and he didn't tell anybody about it, and had been concussed earlier, and we didn't know about it.
Gotcha.
And that's, you know, that's something you never put into the picture. You know, people think about recurring concussions in football, but when you've had one outside of football and then you get one in football, that's something, you know, a lot of times we don't take into account. We learn something from that.
And how good has he looked during the spring?
He's done really a lot of good things in spring. He's developing. He's got a long ways to go though too.
Right.